Trout Lake and friends is what I'm going to call this guy. I started out at the Trout Lake trailhead, which is up on the north end of Lake McDonald, and you go up and over Howe Ridge and drop down into the Trout Lake area, and then I headed up and camped at Arrow Lake all the way, and then day hiked up to Camas Lake, and then came all the way back out Camas Creek to the inside North Fork Road. The first part of it is going up and over Howe Ridge, and that has been all burned out there, so you've got a lot of good, like kind of some fun views of Lake McDonald as you're heading up there, and you know, it was really fun to see a lot of birds, and there's a little stream that comes down there, and you know, I got to see a squirrel. It was really funny. He would climb up into this western maple and get some of those little twirly bird seeds in his mouth, and then he'd run across the trail and bury him and then come back and kept doing it all over and over again. But yeah, it's real nice up there. But it is 2,000 feet of elevation gain in about 3 miles, I think, or about 2 miles. So it's definitely a workout. Thankfully, if you're just going to Arrow Lake, you know, you don't have very much to go once you get past that. But you start to come and you start to get into some non-burn areas, which is nice. And then you just kind of go back and forth a little bit, and then you crest the hill. And on the other side, you get real fun views of Rogers Peak right in front of you. Definitely a lot more moist over there, being kind of on a more of a northern slope, and little filtered views of Rogers Lake. And then later on, you kind of get it opens up a little bit more for that lake. But hey, start working your way down, and definitely starts getting more deciduous and a little bit more mossy and everything. And then you intersect with the Western Lakes Trail, which I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But so you go ahead and take a right and start watching the beauty that is Trout Lake. Fantastic. And you know, it's really cool because it gives you a view of Heaven's Peak that most people don't see. It's kind of the back side of it, and everyone's taking a picture from the loop, but you're looking at the almost pyramid shape and no snow side of Heaven's Peak. So that's really just kind of fun. And then you start working your way up to Arrow Lake. And there's a little bit of up and down to get to Arrow Lake. And then Arrow Lake's just another one of those little pocket lakes up there. Really, really pretty. Super cool. And this whole area is just really wild. I don't know how many people make it up to that point, but I don't think that a ton of people camp there. In the springtime, this whole place I think is just a big buggy mess. However, in the fall, it is beautiful, and I was really stoked to go ahead and be walking through that. So anyways, that was really sweet. And then what I did was I set up camp, and then I hiked up to Camas because I needed to. And I have to tell you, that place is crazy. When you first start out, you go, instead of following the traditional route, which is actually overgrown, wrap all the way around to the top of the lake, and look for, once you cross the last stream, look for the little orange flagging, because that's how you're going to be able to find it. And I basically just kept my shoes on and just got them soaked because I needed to really hoof it to get back. And these fall days are getting shorter, but yeah, you start out, you kind of have some of these meadows, and then there's lots of just, you know, face high. You just have a bunch of this face-high thimbleberry and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely a crazy, crazy area. Then you'll start going uphill, and I didn't realize there's about 1,000 foot elevation gain getting up to Camas Lake. And but yeah, so you definitely work for it. But the views just keep getting better, and it's awesome. And you know, just looking back at Arrow and Trout Lake from really cool views, and you can see McPartland and its crazy rock formations, and then it is definitely grizzly country. And I came around a corner, and I was doing my hey-o, and I happened to jump one, and he took off running, and wow, that was pretty intense. And then after that, you know that you're in moose country, and it's just this crazy boggy sort of a thing, the kind of a peninsula that comes out, and you have beautiful Camas Lake. And there is a campground there. The whole thing, like I said, is rugged. It probably has the best eating viewpoint I've ever seen in my life. And you can actually see the backside of the old Heavens Peak lookout, which is cool, and there's a little island. And I have a feeling that if you stayed there, you would definitely see at least one moose in the morning and or the evening. So anyways, that was super cool. Came back down, we had camp, woke up in the morning to this kind of foggy lake, which was fun, and then took back off through the mossy trees and everything, and then came back to where Camas Creek Trail comes in. You can definitely see that it does not get used the same amount that that the other trail does. And most people obviously come in from the Lake McDonald side, not from the inside North Fork Road. But yeah, really cool. You know, reminds me a lot of, with all these thimbleberries and just the kind of forest, reminds me a lot of like when I did Logging Lake, or even like the South Boundary Trail and kind of the Cole Nyack. It just has very similar forests and stuff. You know, like I said, lots of really cool birds and, you know, berries and all that kind of stuff. And then, because I'm in the fall. So anyways, you start to go a little bit further, and you pop out into this burn area. And it kind of goes back and forth, and about 3 miles from the trailhead, you come to this fantastic meadow called Rogers Meadow, and Camas Creek slows way down, and it gets super windy, and there's just moose tracks all over the place, and my camera was having a little bit of condensation problems at the time because of earlier in the day, but I believe that I got a fisher. I can't tell though, so I'll have to try and ID him, and I'll label him accordingly. And then, but yeah, just fantastic views. And so even if you just wanted to drive up to the inside North Fork Road and take a look at this guy, that's totally a great day. Anyway, so then you get closer to about 1.5 miles from the inside North Fork Road, and you have Christensen Meadow, which is not as, you don't have as great of a view point of it. But you know, if you hiked into it and wandered around, I think it'd be really fun with a set of binoculars and just to see what you could get. And then finally, you come to this big open meadow, and then you're about ready to hit your car. So anyways, if you came from your car, I think that it would be really fun to go ahead and, you know, just to do a little day hike up Camas Creek. Overall, really liked the trip, but this, of course, is, for me, it's a fall trip. So, you know, I'm catching it at the right time, I think, because I think earlier in the season, like my Logging Lake trip would be full of bugs and full of wetness and stuff, and like lots of mud. So anyways, so yeah, totally recommend that, especially if you can go ahead and do it in the fall, because it was beautiful for me. Anyways, that's my story. Those are my pictures. Hope you enjoyed.